You think men are simple, don't you? That all it takes is the obvious touch, the obvious kiss, and he'll give himself over to you. But let me tell you something. Most women never discovered a man's body has secret places, hidden switches that when you touch them the right way in the right moment, you don't just turn him on, you take his control. You make his breath catch, his muscles tremble, and suddenly the confident, composed man in front of you is weak, weak, weak for you. And the most delicious part, it's not where you think. It's not the obvious spots. It's the ones no one talks about, the ones that mess with his mind as much as his body. Imagine leaning in close, not even kissing him yet, just letting your lips hover near his skin as your fingers graze, a place he never expected. His voice drops, his eyes darken, his whole body leans into you without him even realizing it. You whisper something soft, something dirty, and his control shatters. That's the power you're about to have. The power to make him ache for you without ever going where he expects. The power to make him crave your touch like it's oxygen. And once you learn these places, once you master how to use them, he won't be able to hide it. He'll look at you differently. He'll remember your touch when you're not even in the room. He'll feel you on his skin long after you've pulled away. You'll become his addiction. And trust me, once you taste that kind of power, you'll never settle for anything less. But what happens when you become the author of this silent dialogue? What happens when you learn to speak this language with such fluency and nuance that you can compose a symphony on his very skin? This is not about the obvious overtures, the crashing cymbals of overt sexuality that everyone already understands. This is about the subtle notes, the quiet vibrations, the whispered melodies that resonate, not just with his body, but with the deepest, most guarded chambers of his mind and soul. This is about understanding that the map of a man's desire is not limited to the territories everyone knows. There are hidden pathways, secret gardens, and pressure points that lie dormant, waiting for a knowing hand to awaken them. When you learn exactly where to touch him, you are not merely arousing him. You are communicating on a level that bypasses his logic, sidesteps his ego, and speaks directly to the ancient instinctual core of his being. You are touching the man beneath the man. These touches make him weak in the knees, not from force, but from a sudden, overwhelming sense of surrender. They switch on a network of circuits deep inside his body and his mind, lighting up pathways he may not have even known he possessed. This is the kind of touch that makes him crave you, not just as a partner, but as an essential element like the air he needs to breathe, transforms you from a participant in the dance of seduction into the choreographer of his desire. Tonight, we embark on a journey to uncover 5 of these pivotal touch points. These are not just locations on the body. They are keys, each one unlocking a different aspect of his psyche and his physical response. They are the spots that make him melt with a pleasure so profound it borders on pain, ache with a longing that is both physical and emotional, and hunger for you in ways that no simple kiss or obvious move ever could. These are the touches that slip under his defenses, disarm his conscious mind, and ignite a fire within him that he will associate with you and you alone. When you master this art, you do more than just turn him on. You seize his attention with an unbreakable grip. You become the sole proprietor of his desire. You own the part of him that he keeps hidden from the world, the vulnerable, authentic self that he doesn't give away to anyone. This is the ultimate power in intimacy, not a power of control over him, but a power to connect with him so deeply that he feels seen, understood, and utterly consumed by you. Let us begin. Begin the primal gate, the back of his neck, the psychology of vulnerability and trust before we delve into the technique. We must first understand the profound psychological and physiological significance of our first location, the back of the neck in the animal kingdom and in the primal memory of our own species. The nape of the neck is a symbol of absolute vulnerability. It is the target for a predator's final strike, the place where where a single decisive blow means the difference between life and death. It is the part of himself a man cannot see, the part he cannot easily defend. His entire nervous system is hardwired with this ancient knowledge. His instincts scream, "Protect this spot." So what happens when you, the object of his affection and desire, gently and lovingly place your touch upon this primal gate? The effect is nothing short of an electrical storm in his brain. His body receives two powerful conflicting signals simultaneously: Dan, GR, and Sapphire. The danger signal, the unexpected contact in this vulnerable zone, triggers a microsecond of alarm. His adrenal system prepares for a fight or flight response. His senses sharpen, his muscles tense, and his full undivided attention is immediately locked onto the source of the sensation. This is not a conscious thought. It is a deep instinctual reaction. The safety signal almost immediately after the initial jolt. His conscious mind processes that the touch is not a threat. It is slow. It is gentle. It is coming from someone he trusts and is attracted to. This realization sends a wave of relief, flooding his system with endorphins and oxytocin. The neurochemicals of bonding and pleasure. This collision of primal fear and profound safety creates a state of heightened eras is incredibly potent and addictive. You have, in one simple gesture, taken him to the edge of his instinctual defenses and then pulled him back into a cocoon of intimate security. It's a neurological short circuit and it's intoxicating. He is subconsciously registering that you are someone he can let his guard down with. Someone to whom he can expose his most vulnerable self and not only survive, but thrive. The art of the neck touch, a symphony in 4 movements. Mastering this touch is not about a single action, but about understanding the nuances of pressure, speed, and context. Think of it as a composition movement. Eve, the ascending inquiry. This is the opening note designed to capture his attention and set the stage. It should be subtle, almost accidental at first. The setting, you are standing or sitting beside or slightly behind him. Perhaps you are looking at something together or he is focused on a task. The key is that he is not fully expecting intimate contact. The execution begin at the top of his shoulder near the collar of his shirt. Use only your fingertips. Let your touch be as light as a whisper, as if you are merely tracing the seam of his clothing. Now begin a slow, deliberate ascent. Move your fingers upward along the corded muscle that runs from his shoulder to the base of his skull. This is the trapezius muscle, a place where men hold a great deal of tension. Your light touch is not a message. It is an exploration. It is a question you are asking his body. Feel the warmth of his skin, the texture of the fabric, the climax as you reach the base of his skull where his neck meets his hairline pores. This is the epicenter. The fine hairs here are exquisitely sensitive. Let your fingers rest in this hollow space for a beat. The pause is critical. It is in this moment of stillness that his brain catches up to what is happening and the full force of the sensation washes over him. You will feel it. A slight stiffening of his posture, a sharp intake of breath, a subtle shiver that runs down his spine. That is his body surrendering to your touch. Movement are the whisper command. Now that you have his complete and undivided attention, you will layer another sensory input to amplify the effect. The setting. You are still paused at the base of his skull, the execution leaning close so that your lips are just inches from his ear. Do not touch him with your lips yet. Let him feel the warmth of your breath first. This alone will send a jolt through his system. Then whisper something. The content is less important than the delivery. It could be a simple, "Hey," a compliment about how good he smells, or a suggestive, "I've been thinking about you." The words should be spoken in a low, bray tone. The vibration of your voice combined with the warmth of your breath and the pressure of your fingers on his neck creates a sensory trifecta that is almost overwhelming. He is not just hearing your words, he is feeling them resonate through his entire nervous system. Movement heavy, the artful denial. This is where you introduce the element of tension and anticipation, the psychological component that transforms a pleasant touch into an unforgettable obsession. The setting you have just whispered in his ear. His body is primed for more. He is likely turning his head expecting a kiss. The execution, do not give it to him. As he turns toward you, anticipating the meeting of your lips, deny him that satisfaction. This is a crucial pivot. Instead of kissing his mouth, let your head continue its path and press your lips gently to the side of his neck on the tensed muscle just below his ear. Let the kiss be soft and lingering. Then pull away slowly, letting your fingers trail from the back of his neck down his back. As you move the effect, you have created a powerful open loop in his mind. He was expecting a resolution, the kiss, and you denied him. This act of playful denial does something maddening to the male brain. It creates a question that his mind will obsessively try to answer. Why didn't she kiss me? When will she? The waiting, the anticipation is what will burn you into his thoughts for hours, even days to come. He is no longer just physically aroused. He is mentally and emotionally captivated. Movement 4, the public proclamation, advanced technique. This is about using the neck touch as a subtle, powerful gesture of ownership in a social setting. The setting you are out together, perhaps at a bar, a party, or with friends. He is engaged in a conversation with others. The execution, approach him from behind without breaking his conversation or drawing over attention. Place your open palm on the back of his neck. Let it rest there for a few seconds. A firm, warm, possessive touch. You can give a gentle squeeze, a silent signal that says, I'm here. You're with me. Then remove your hand and move away, perhaps to get a drink or speak to someone else. The effect, this is a power move that operates on multiple levels. To him, it is a sudden, intimate jolt of connection that pulls his focus back to you, even while he is talking to others. It is a secret message shared between the two of you in a crowded room. To anyone who happens to see the gesture, it is a clear, non-verbal statement of your bond. He is mine. It taps into his protective and possessive instincts, making him feel claimed and desired in a way that is deeply satisfying to the masculine ego. The back of his neck is more than just skin and bone. It is the control panel for his primal instincts. When you learn to play it like an instrument, you are not just giving him pleasure. You are communicating your trust, your desire, and your power in a language his body and soul will never forget. Number 2, the seed of strength, his chest, the psychology of armor and acceptance. A man's chest is his shield. From the time he is a boy, he learns to puff it out as a display of confidence, to square his shoulders as a show of strength, to stand tall, to project authority. It is the physical manifestation of his ego, his masculinity, his role as a protector. It is the armor he wears to face the world. This armor is not just physical, it is emotional. Behind his sternum lies his heart, the literal and metaphorical core of his being, the seat of his deepest emotions and vulnerabilities. Most physical interactions with a man's chest are either aggressive, a shove, a punch, or perfunctor, a brief hug, a pat on the back. They rarely linger, they rarely explore. Because of this, the chest remains a heavily fortified yet surprisingly neglected zone of intimacy. When you place your hand on his chest, you are not trying to break through his armor. You are doing something far more powerful. You are acknowledging it, honoring it, and then being invited past it. Your touch is a silent declaration that says, I see your strength. I am not intimidated by it. I accept it, and I am safe enough to touch the heart that lies beneath it. This act of acceptance is profoundly disarming. It melts the tension he carries in his shoulders and torso. It tells him that with you, you, he does not need to posture or perform. He can simply be. This is not just about seduction, it is about creating a sanctuary. A touch to his chest can convey more safety, acceptance, and love than 1,000 words of reassurance. It is the key that unlocks the emotional man who resides behind the shield of masculinity. The art of the chest touch, connecting to his core, touching his chest effectively, is about intention. Are you seeking connection? Are you expressing affection? Are you building sensual tension? Each intention requires a different approach. Technique 1, the heartbeat anchor. This is the foundational touch designed to create a deep, almost meditative connection. The setting: you are in a quiet, intimate moment. Perhaps you are lying in bed, cuddling on the couch, or sharing a slow dance. The execution: place your hand flat on his chest, directly over his heart. Don't just place it there. Let it settle. Feel the weight of your hand, the warmth transferring from your palm to his skin. Close your eyes for a moment and focus on the sensation beneath your hand. Feel the steady, rhythmic thump of his heartbeat. Let your own breathing begin to synchronize with it. This is not a passive act. You are actively listening to the rhythm of his life with your hand. The amplification: let him see what you are doing. Let him feel your focus. He will become acutely aware of his own heartbeat and of the fact that you are connected to it. It creates an incredibly profound sense of intimacy and presence. He feels seen on a biological level. If you are close enough, rest your head on his other side, so your ear is also against his chest. The combination of feeling and hearing his heartbeat, while your hand provides a warm, steady pressure, is an experience of such deep peace and connection that it borders on the spiritual. It makes him feel like you're home. Technique 1, the invisible script. This technique is about introducing a playful teasing element that stimulates his nerves and his imagination. The setting: this can be done in a more playful or sensual context. You might be sitting opposite him, leaning in to talk, or during foreplay. The execution: instead of a flat palm, use only your fingertips. Rest them lightly on his sternum. Begin to trace slow, invisible patterns on his skin. It could be circles, figure eights, or even spelling out a secret word. The touch should be light, almost ticklish, but deliberate. Let your nails graze his skin ever so slightly. The nerve endings in his chest, so often ignored, will spring to life. The power of eye contact. This touch is magnified tenfold when paired with intense, unbroken eye contact. As your fingers dance across his chest, lock your gaze with his. Let your eyes hold a hint of mischief, a silent promise of what's to come. He is now caught in two simultaneous streams of sensory input: the maddeningly light touch on his skin and the overwhelming intensity of your gaze. His brain won't know where to focus, creating a delightful sensory overload that short-circuits his logical thought and pulls him completely into the moment with you. He is not just being touched, he is being mesmerized. Technique: the muscle adoration. This touch is designed to acknowledge and appreciate his physicality and strength, playing directly to his masculine pride in a way that feels empowering to him and intimate for you. The setting: after he has exerted himself, perhaps after working out, doing yard work, or even just after a stressful day or during a moment of passion. The execution: use your whole hand for this. Start at his collarbone and slowly, firmly sweep your hand down over his pectoral muscle, following its shape toward his armpit and then down his side. The pressure should be firm and confident, as if you are sculpting him from clay. You are not just touching skin, you are appreciating the form and function of the muscle beneath. You are communicating your admiration for his physical strength through your touch. Verbal reinforcement. As you do this, you can add a quiet verbal cue. Something as simple as "you feel so strong," whispered with genuine appreciation, will send a surge of pride and desire through him. You are validating a core aspect of his masculine identity, and in doing so, you are making him feel like a king under your hands. It is a powerful aphrodisiac that has little to do with friction and everything to do with recognition technique. 4. The shirted caress. This demonstrates that you don't need skin-to-skin contact to create a powerful effect. It's about showing you desire to be close to him even through a layer of clothing. The setting you are in a semi-public or casual setting, you are greeting him, saying goodbye, or just passing by him in your home. The execution as you approach him for a hug or a kiss, place your hand on his chest first. Let it linger there for a moment before you complete the embrace. Press firmly enough that he can feel the heat and pressure of your hand through his shirt. As you talk to him, you can leave your hand there unconsciously rubbing a small circle with your thumb. The effect this gesture transforms arms a simple interaction. It says, I'm not just going through the motions, I am connecting with you. The fabric of his shirt acts as a medium, creating a subtle friction and a sense of tantalizing distance. He knows your skin is just a millimeter away, and that knowledge alone is enough to create a spark of tension. It is a constant low-level reminder of the physical intimacy you share, a way of staking your claim and expressing your affection all at once. A man's chest is the front door to his heart and his pride. When you learn to knock with a touch that is confident, accepting, and intentional, you will find that the door does not need to be forced. It will swing wide open for you and you alone. Number 3, yay, the instruments of power. His hands, the psychology of control and surrender. Consider a man's hands. They are his primary tools for interacting with and imposing his will upon the world. With his hands, he builds, he fixes, he fights, he provides, he creates. They are symbols of his competence, his agency, and his control. From opening a stubborn jar for you to gripping a steering wheel, his hands are almost always in a state of doing. He is the one who initiates, the one who holds, the one who takes. His hands are the active instruments. Yours traditionally are the receptive. This is why seizing control of his hands is one of the most profound and disorienting psychological flips you can perform in the dance of intimacy. When you take his hand and make it the object of your focused attention, you are subverting his expectations and altering the fundamental power dynamic in a thrilling way. You are transforming his tools of action into instruments of sensation. You are telling him for now you don't have to do anything. Just be, just feel. Let me be the one in control. For a man who is so often burdened with the pressure to perform and to lead, this invitation to surrender is an incredible release. It frees him from the role of initiator and allows him to simply exist in a state of receptive pleasure. It is unexpected, it is intimate, and it is devastatingly effective. Underestimating the erotic potential of his hands is one of the greatest mistakes one can make. To touch his hands with intention is to touch the very core of his power and his identity. The art of the hand touch, a guide to gentle domination. The key to unlocking the power of his hands is detail. Do not just hold his hand, explore it, memorize it, worship it. Technique, that is, the palm reader's secret. This is about creating a moment of intense focus and almost mystical connection, turning his palm into a sacred text that only you can read. The setting, a quiet moment sitting across from each other or side by side in a car, at a dinner table, on a sofa. The execution. Gently take his hand. Don't just grab it. Turn your own hand palm up in a gesture of invitation and let him place his hand in yours. Now, turn his hand over so his palm is facing up. Hold it with both of your hands as if it were a precious object. Begin by slowly, deliberately tracing the major lines on his palm with the tip of your fingernail. The lifeline, the headline, the heart line. You don't need to know palistry. You are not telling his fortune. You are commanding his attention. The narrative as you trace. Speak softly. I wonder what stories these hands could tell. Or there is so much strength right here. Your touch is slow. Your voice is low and your focus is absolute. This combination is hypnotic. You are taking something he sees every day and takes for granted, his own palm, and you are imbuing it with mystery, significance, and sensuality. He is seeing his own hand through your eyes, and it is a revelation. Technique IAS, the wrist vulnerable pulse. This technique targets a highly sensitive and often overlooked erogenous zone. The inside of his wrist, the setting building on the previous technique, or during any moment of closeness. The anatomy, the skin on the inside of the wrist is thin, delicate, and packed with nerve endings. More importantly, it is a major pulse point. The blood flows closer to the surface here than in almost any other part of the body. Touching this spot is an incredibly intimate act, subconsciously linked to life, vitality, and vulnerability. The execution while holding his hand, use the thumb of your other hand to draw slow, firm circles directly over his pulse point. Feel his pulse beating against your thumb. It is a tangible connection to his life force. Now elevate the gesture. Lower your head and press your lips to that exact spot. Don't just peck it. Let your lips linger. Feel his pulse against your mouth. The warmth and softness of your lips on this exquisitely sensitive area will send a shockwave of pleasure up his arm and through his entire body. He will lose his composure because you have touched a place of deep symbolic vulnerability with an act of profound sensual reverence. Technique Fey. The finger interlace and the squeeze of power. This is a dynamic touch that plays with tension, control, and anticipation, turning the simple act of holding hands into a high-stakes game. The setting, any time you would normally hold hands, walking down the street, sitting in a movie theater, driving the execution, intertwine your fingers with his. Most people stop there. You will not. Once your fingers are laced together, begin to play. Slowly tighten your grip, a gradual, deliberate squeeze that communicates both affection and a hint of possessiveness. Hold it for a few seconds, letting the pressure build, then just as slowly relax your grip.